Fishing news is brought to you by Navionics, Okuma, and Yozori.
I guess you could forget all about spring boat prep. Most anglers I've talked to in the last week have been in the backyard building an ark. I'm Jim Hutchinson with the New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. Lo and behold, the sun does exist. Yes, the sun came out to greet us, re-emerged just in time for the opening of black sea bass, which by all accounts, the opening day on Wednesday was pretty darn good. Boats sailing out of every port in New Jersey and Delaware. I'm here in Barnegat Light, where we've got boats like the Carolyn Ann 3, the Super Chick, the Mary M 4, Susan Hudson, and Robin Ann, all hitting the black sea bass grounds. And I talked to Gina as they came in on Wednesday from their first trip of the year. She said it was lights out black sea bass fishing. It hasn't been that good in years, she said. And there were some big ones on there too, 3s and 4s with pool winner right around the 5-pound mark, not too shabby. Also up in Belmar, we know the captain Chris Hewitt shared this video along the rail of the Big Mohawk on Wednesday as sea bass of all sizes were brought over the rails. And yeah, the rails are loaded. Folks waiting on these benches outside for folks to show up at the boat. And it seems like the tried and true high-low rig with clam will get it done, although you might want to make sure to have a jigging outfit if you don't rent one on board. Target some of those bigger humpbacks, a little higher in the water column, up above the wrecks. But diamonds, butterflies, and of course bucktails with gulp. And also some squid as well. Talked to the crew of the Carolyn Ann. They said there are a lot of sand eels out there. So it's always a good idea to bring the jigging equipment. Make sure you can get in on it. And I'll tell you what, get in on this early season part, because those sea bass have been hungry. They've been left untouched for way too long. In fact, John Gibbons shared this photo. He had a 3-man limit and was in port in time for breakfast. Black drum action on Delaware Bay is great no matter what the weather is doing outside. In fact, the Huber boys trailered down to Delaware Bay earlier this week, got in on the outstanding bite. In fact, young Tommy here had his personal best. Every time we check in with Tommy, he's got another personal best. A 51-pound black drum down there on Delaware Bay that he released. Now, don't forget, folks, if you're out fishing in anywhere for black drum, even if you're out on the Raritan, just make sure you sign up for that black drum battle over at blackdrumbattle.com. There's no telling where some of those big boomers are going to be coming up. I'd hate for you to miss out if you get a big boomer and you're not signed up to the contest. Now, I'll be updating that page over at blackdrumbattle.com by the end of the month. We checked in with Mike Childs of Prospect Park. He weighed in a 55-pounder over the weekend down at Jim's Bait and Tackle in Cape May. He said, Jim, look out for it. I've got that entry form on the way. Again, a lot of Sharpies like to circle the full moon of May as the time for Drummond to really get into full gear. That next few days up until May 18th. May 18th is that full moon, so I would expect it really to get hot and heavy in the coming days and then those first few days after the full moon as well. Now, May's full flower moon is also big for the weakfish Sharpies as well. Ed Teese, he knocked himself off the Fisherman magazine's Dreamboat leaderboard with yet another good weakfish weigh-in over the weekend. He brought this 6.8-pounder into Pier 47 in Wildwood. He sits atop the leaderboard as we talk right now. My guess is Ed worked a night shift for this nice weekie. Yes, it's that subscribers-only Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. It's underway. And it's not just the weakfish. Other New Jersey anglers have already started to get on the board with fish like this, the bluefish run. We've got those big teen-sized bluefish. Kevin Laverty, currently in second in the bluefish division with a 16.34-pounder that he weighed in here on LBI, just down the road at Fisherman's headquarters in Ship Bottom. While perennial Dreamboat contender Phil LaGrossa got a 15-pound even that he weighed in a little north of here, just on the other side of Barnegat Inlet over at Grumpy's Bait and Tackle. It's going to be a busy weekend ahead up there in Seaside Park. Island Beach State Park is once again hosting the New Jersey Governor's Cup. We're getting an oil delivery here. Got to keep those party boats going while we've got the black sea bass open. Again, the Governor's Cup is going off this Saturday, May 18th. You can find details again in that May edition of the Fisherman magazine. News briefs, the start on page 4. Just take note, it's May 18th, not the 28th. You can hit me up later and yell at me, but we have a comprehensive listing of news and events throughout the New Jersey, Delaware region. Like, for example, the Ann and Nuncio Bruno Bluefish Contest for kids. That's going to be held this Saturday out of Chestnut Neck Boatyard, Saturday in Port Republic. Our calendar of events, also on page 11, has more information, all the tournaments throughout the month of May, like Saturday's Surf and Land Tournament out of Brigantine, a great surfcasters only tournament. And it's a great time of year to have that tournament as well, because I expect some good catches. We still have some good striped bass moving north. Julie Stevenson, for example, was on Assateague Island for this 35-pounder. She caught on shedder crab this week. Check that into Lewis Harbor Bait and Tackle, Lewis Harbor Marina over in Lewis, Delaware. Good sign, because more of those fish, they're going to be migrating north. In fact, Eric Burnley, our field editor from Delaware, he says blues and drum have been taken by Delaware surfcasters as well as those stripers this past week. He suggested drum and some bass at Broadkill Beach. If you're looking specifically for those blues and striped bass, he suggested heading out front. You might want to give Cape Henlopen a shot, or maybe Indian River Inlet. But moving up into Cape May County, more of those good stripers are moving along the beach. Ocean City, New Jersey Fishing Club member Bob Dever, he had a 26-pounder off the club pier on Saturday. Caught that on cut bait. Cut bait, definitely the way to go if you want to expect some more good surf action up into Brigantine this weekend, or LBI, Northern Ocean, all of Monmouth County in the days ahead. I'll tell you, look for chunk bunker to be the go-to bait if you're, sticking it in the sand, dead sticking that rod, maybe throwing a plug as well. Does look like some spawned out fish are moving in along the offshore grounds. I say offshore, inside the 3-mile line. Jack Johnson had this 53 earlier in the week off Island Beach. That was caught on a Maja number 4. That was a green spoon. And I'll tell you, look at that belly. It does look like she spawned out. So I would expect that bunker busting to start anytime, maybe in the next couple of days, maybe while you're watching this. Folks plugging, jigging, trolling, and live lining on Raritan Bay, still finding some decent action. Kat Korth, she checked in with us this week, shows us what's ahead with that 2015 year class. Nice looking little fish there. But I'll tell you, everybody's asking, where are the big fish? They must have moved out. Now my guess is they moved up the Hudson River for the spawn. In fact, Carl Hartman of the Hudson River Fishermen's Association and American Anglers, he shared this pic with us this week of a big bass released up the Hudson Beacon area earlier this week. Expect more of those fish after they spawn to drop down out of the Hudson, invade the Raritan again, and move out along the beaches. I'll be up fishing near Lady Liberty in New York City next week, looking for some of those big cows. We've got a special trip with the folks from Gray Fish Tags, Navionics, and the Fisherman magazine. We're going to be putting in a couple of satellite tags into a couple of big fish, we hope, next week, so we can track their migration pattern over the next several months. If you'd like some more information on that, go to thefisherman.com. We've got the main story pegged on that homepage. You can also take a look at the GoFundMe page to figure out if you'd like to help us out. This is going to be an ongoing project for us in the next couple of years, so make sure you check that out. If you're looking for it, you can also find it on my Facebook page. If we're not friends, please come across and friend me. I know one friend who's looking forward to some of those freshwater stripers turning on. That's George, the Pocono Outdoors guy.
Hey Jim, it looks like the conditions are finally improving and the rain that would not end is finally giving up. Conditions look good this week, improving for the weekend. It looks like we'll actually have some sunshine and let these anglers get out and catch some fish. Now with this, we've also had some improving water temperatures. I was down checking the other day. Temps are up in the high 60s, even some 70s. That means the bass are up on the beds. The smallmouth have probably already spawned. Pretty much anything you want to target is active right now. So you guys got to get out. Right now, check those coves and those shallow flats for get the plugs out there, the plastics, especially those creature baits will do you real good this time of year. Guys, get out, get those lines wet. It's finally here, and don't forget to send us those pics. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
The midweek forecast from NOAA, the fisheries experts. They say offshore conditions are looking especially good on Friday and Sunday. Keep an eye on that forecast, but for those of you who are looking to get offshore for some bluefin, Right now, those look like plum days, and I'll tell you, Jersey Nuts Captain R.J. Melton and the crew of the Caitlin, they trolled a 70-inch bluefin tuna out of Manasquan this past Saturday. So that's a good sign. We've heard of a handful of bluefin so far. It's only a matter of time before folks get out and find them on the troll, maybe the jig. Oh man, maybe some of those topwater tuna as well. Sea bass is open. Come on out and enjoy it. If you're heading down to LBI, you've got another couple of days before those flashing lights turn to solid reds, yellows, and greens. Keep that in mind heading down to the Jersey Shore in the next week. All those flashing lights should be changing before Memorial Day weekend, although what I like to call that weekend is the start of fluke season here in New Jersey. Enjoy the weekend ahead, catch them up, and we'll see you again next week right here at thefisherman.com.
Win the incredible Steigercraft Evinrude Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package and more in the Fisherman's 2019 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details now at thefisherman.com.